it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's video is going to be my budget for the fourth paycheck in the month of September. Technically it's the fourth and fifth paychecks, I suppose. We'll call it week 4. I have my husband's fourth paycheck of the month as well as my YouTube income for August that came in. So I am all set up and ready to share my budget with you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. So if you're not new here, you know that I don't share my husband's income. He's not comfortable with me sharing his income. I respect that, and so whenever I sit down to film my budgets, I leave that information out. But what I do share with you is my income. I'm primarily a stay-at-home mom. I don't bring in a lot of income, but I do make a little bit of money from the ads that I have here on my YouTube videos. So anytime that you guys see an ad pop up on one of my videos and you watch it, you are contributing a little bit to my income, and I really, really appreciate that. So the money that you see listed here is all of the income I earned in August. They pay you out the following month, providing that you have earned at least $100. That's the way that it works. They pay you through AdSense. And so I did reach that $100 threshold, so I did get paid out on the 21st, and the amount that I earned from YouTube for the month of August is $251.48. So if you watched any of my videos in August, thank you for helping me bring in that little bit of money. It's not a lot, but every little bit helps, especially when you're on a debt-free journey. So by watching my videos, you guys are helping me pay down debt. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, now that we've talked about income, let's talk about where it's gonna go. By the way, I didn't mention yet, I'm using the Budget by Paycheck workbook from The Budget Mom. This is a phenomenal budgeting resource. I use it every single week. I love it. It has helped me tremendously in budgeting by paycheck and telling my money where to go every single week. I love it. I have The Budget Mom linked down below. She's a phenomenal resource in general. She's got a ton of great products, but she also has a ton of information both on her YouTube channel as well as her Instagram. So definitely check her out. Highly recommend. All right, so the way that she has her Budget by Paycheck workbook set up is that your categories are broken down. So the first category that we're going to talk about here is bills. And under the bills category, I personally put anything that is going to be paid through my bank account or my debit card. So it's not just my weekly bills like my electric bill or my car insurance, but it's also my groceries, because I use the Walmart grocery pickup service, and so I pay for my groceries online with my debit card. Also, my household expenses are under bills because that's another thing that I use my debit card for. Other categories of spending throughout the week I use cash for, but those are the items that I use my debit card for, so they stay under bills just so I can keep everything straight. So the first category is groceries. I have a family of 4. We live in Southeast Michigan for reference, and I budget $150 for groceries. You might need to budget less or more depending on your family size, where you live, how you like to eat, but $150 works for my family. So that is what I have budgeted. Next up, I have my household expenses. Typically, when I'm doing my Walmart grocery pickup order, I'll add in any household items that we need. Things like toilet paper, deodorant, shampoo, trash bags. All of those items are what I consider household items. And I have budgeted $25 this week for anything like that we need. Next up, we have my car insurance. So if you've been watching my channel this month, you know that I just recently traded in my truck and got a new to me car. It's a 2017 Subaru Forester. It's the car of my dreams. I'm absolutely loving it. But it costs a little bit more to insure. So my car insurance did go up just a little bit for a total of $220. I tend to always budget my bills a little bit higher than what I actually expect them to be. I think it's probably going to be closer to like $215, but I put in $220 just so that I know that it's covered. It's the first month with insurance for my car, so I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, but it should be somewhere in the neighborhood of this $220. And that is not just insurance for my Subaru, it also insures my Saturn Ion, which is actually my son's car, as well as our camper. So $220. It's actually come down quite a bit. We had recently had a reform of the insurance laws or whatever here in Michigan, so we were able to actually lower our car insurance quite a bit. It used to be much higher than this, so I'm excited about $220, if we're being honest. All right, next up we have motorcycle insurance, which is a separate line item because we use a different company to insure my husband's motorcycle than we do for our other vehicles, just because we were able to get a better rate through a different company for that, and so I have budgeted $40 for that. Next up is Michigan Gas. This is our gas bill, and we budget $40 for that. Lastly, we have DTE, which is our electric bill. Our electric bill is always sky high. We are on the budget plan where we pay the same amount every single month, whether it's summer or winter, but even that, it's $220. It's crazy high. I don't really know or understand why it's so high. I keep saying I'm going to get DTE out here to take a look at our usage and everything and find out what we are doing wrong to make our bill so high, and I just haven't ever gotten around to it. So it's $220. It's a lot, but it is what it is. So if you add up all of my bills for the week, you get a total of $695. So that $695 will get left in my bank account to cover all of these things, and then we'll move on to cash envelopes. So like I said, I do quite a bit of my weekly spending in cash. That's just the way that I prefer to do it. It helps me stay on track with my budget, and I find it a lot harder to spend cash. And so I do pull cash out to spend throughout the week for these various categories. For my husband's personal money, this is money that he can spend on whatever he wants. I have budgeted $40, so I'll just pull out $40 from the bank. I'll give it to him. He'll put it in his wallet, and that's what he will use throughout the week if he wants to stop and buy himself a cup of coffee, or if he wants to buy himself a book, or whatever it is. I don't really ask him what he spends his personal money on. I don't keep track of it. I don't need to. I just know that $40 goes to him, and that's the end of that. I also get $40 spending money, so I've budgeted $40 for myself. For gas for the week for my car, I have budgeted $40 as well. For miscellaneous, I've budgeted $50. Miscellaneous is a category that I keep in my budget to account for anything that I didn't plan for. Inevitably, every week something comes up. And rather than have to swipe my debit card or my credit card to cover those expenses that inevitably come up, I just set aside $50 in my budget to cover that. And $50 typically covers anything that I forgot or that pops up. So it's been working out great for me. Lastly, for our cash envelopes, I have $30 for eating out money. That's for my family if we want to get takeout one night. And $30 has been working out well for us. We recently dropped it from $50 a week to $30 a week, and so far we've been able to stick to that pretty well. So if you add up all of my cash envelopes, it's a total of $200. So I'll pull $200 out of the bank in cash to cover those expenses. Next up, we have my sinking funds. I also do my sinking funds in cash. I find it's just the easiest way for me to keep track of everything. It works out really well for me. I know a lot of people keep their sinking funds in bank accounts or savings accounts, or however it works for you. Do that, but for me it works out great having it in cash. So I have a lot of sinking funds, around a dozen I think, but I only focus on just a few at a time. It's the way that I do it. It works for me. And so the sinking funds that I am going to be adding money to this week are my campground sinking fund. We have our annual campsite fee due at the end of October, so we are trying to gather up the last little bits of cash that we need for that so that we can pay that when it comes due. I'm going to be putting $125 towards that sinking fund this week. We are also finishing up my husband's hunting sinking fund so that he has all of the cash that he needs for his hunting license and his equipment and whatever that he needs. We just need $25 more to add to that fund, and so we're going to be adding that today. Lastly, I have my YouTube sinking fund. I talked to you guys about my YouTube income at the start of this video. The thing about the YouTube income, though, is that it's not taxed. So I need to pull out money from that total to cover when I need to pay my taxes. So I always take 30% of my earnings and just set it aside so that when it comes time to pay those taxes, I have it. I don't have to scramble for that money. So I take that $251.48. I'll show you guys here on the calculator. $251.48. I take 30% of that, which is $75.44. I always just round it up to the next dollar, so I'm going to take $76 out of this week's budget and set it aside to pay my taxes. And that's going to do it for sinking funds. So when I add everything up, we're doing $226 to sinking funds this week. Moving on to extra debt. So the main reason why I go through and do a budget every single week is so that I can make sure that I have money to send to our credit cards. We are on a debt-free journey. I have slowly built up our debt snowball throughout the year, and we are now up to $150 every single week going to our credit card that has the lowest balance, which right now is a State Farm Visa card. I'm hoping to have this paid off by the middle of next month. Fingers crossed, we're making good progress there. So I'm going to send $150 to that this week, just like I do almost every single week. And I also have listed here a little line item for any extra money I can send to that credit card. I don't have anything written in. I have it set at 0 because I don't know that I'll be able to send anything extra. But I always like to put that line item in there so that if I am able to send something extra, I can fill in the actual amount with that. So that's that. The only other thing on this page is extra savings. I'm not putting anything into any extra savings this week, so I've just gone ahead and crossed that off. All right, you guys, that is it for my budget overview for the week. It's pretty easy peasy. I have been focusing a lot the last couple of months on keeping my budget as simple as possible, not trying to overcomplicate things. It's been working out really well for me. So yeah, that's how I'm going to make my money work for me this week. If you guys have any questions or comments, I'd love it if you'd leave them down below. I love chit-chatting with you guys in the comments section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing so you can come back for all of my other budgeting content, as well as other fun lifestyle videos that I include here on this channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!